Hello, my name is Stone Jang. I am a solutions architect in Google Public Sector. I'll be walking through a prototype that we built for contract and acquisitions management, and this is going to be powered by Google and by Gemini. The main takeaway from this demo is that what you're about to see today, this platform is highly extensible. Whatever you're looking to do in your contracting process that's manual, tedious, time consuming, or just a task that you want to automate, maybe it's connecting with another data system or another federal system, we can bring in the power of agentic AI to help facilitate those tasks and make the process go much more efficiently and securely. So this demo is broken up into three sections based on a standard contracting process. But again, even if it doesn't fit into these three buckets, whatever it is you're looking to do, I'll showcase how we can precisely build those agents to accomplish those tasks. So I'm going to start with the solicitation phase, and here we've got three demos that are built out. The RFP writer, the RFX standardizer, and acquisition plan writer. I'm just going to showcase these first two. So the idea behind the RFP writers is we're going to leverage agentic AI to not only provide us with a first draft version of an RFP, or this can be an RFI or an RFQ as well, based on what we're trying and looking to acquire, but also have the AI write that in a way that's compliant with federal regulations. And so I'm going to start just by uploading a set of documents, and I'll explain what this app is doing once we do that. So what we have on the left here is the UCF from FAR. The part one has the schedule components along with all the parts that correspond to table 15.1. And if you're drafting an RFP or an RFI that is going off of a different set of rules, it would be very easy to plug that right into here. So what the AI is doing on the right now is I've uploaded a set of documents for here, some for the schedule, some for procurement details. That just outlines what I want to procure, how I want to do it, what that schedule looks like. And what Gemini has done in the background is it's leveraged an agent to evaluate all these documents against the different clauses in Table 15.1. Again, if you typically go by another set of regulations, we can match against those as well. These documents have been designed in a way so that these all get checked off. But if, for example, you forget, uh, deliveries or performance as part of those documents, it's going to remind you, this is part of the regulations to include that, to provide that information so that the next set of agents can include it when it's drafting the RFP. We have a standard set of templates here. You can add your own as well on how the RFP should be drafted. And this is just a synthetic one. Yours is probably going to look very much different. I'll show you in just a bit how we can actually extract this live based on previous RFPs or RFIs that you've written in the past. So when I select that template and hit write solicitation, this is going to leverage a different AI agent that's going to synthesize all of these documents and information that we provided through this chat interface, along with that template to draft an RFP following that template. Now this process, this is the longest one out of all the workflows that we have today. Takes about 5-10 minutes to actually work. So I have one that's pre-drafted here, and we'll just flash to that screen. As you can see, I've done nothing here to manually edit it. This has been fully drafted by AI, but it's been being delivered in Workspace so that you can easily make adjustments and add to it. As you can see, it follows our template really well. It's a relatively long document with a large amount of text. Each time a particular FAR clause is cited, the exact clause is then put into the document itself, so you can rest assured that that verbiage is correct. This is certainly not the final copy, right? But we think that in many cases, an AI tool such as this one can really help facilitate that process. And this page is still going, so I'm going to move on and show the next one. The next one we're going to look at is this RFX standardizer. The idea behind this tool is you might have a large set of previous RFIs or RFPs that you have in your repository, and maybe you want to make those more easily searchable. One way to do that is to convert this unstructured text data into a standard data format. The format that we've preloaded into here is the OCDS data format. It's one of the standards that's out there. But again, whatever format you're looking to comply with, we can adjust to that. So I've taken this public RFI and essentially converted it into a JSON that can then be easily ingested downstream to a data storage service. Just to verify, one of the fields that's specified by OCDS is your point of contact. As you can see, it copied this information perfectly well from the RFI itself. We also provide a report evaluating and just citing exactly where the information is actually being derived. You can use this particular tool in many ways. It doesn't have to be converting to a data standard. We can, for example, use this tool to extract the high-level formatting of what an RFI and RFP would look like and feed it to that template that you saw on the previous page for drafting RFIs. So many uses for the standardization tool. I'm going to move on now to the evaluation phase. This section is really meant for a contracting officer, somebody who's evaluating proposals coming in and having to make a decision on who to actually grant the request to. So what I have here is just an outline. Imagine you have a table of different contracts, proposals that's in the queue, and you want a quick way to kind of evaluate these contracts. So what we have here, first I'll show what the actual contract is. This is an actual Google proposal. As you can see, it's extremely long, 108 pages. It's got a combination of text, tables, images. So we really have to leverage an AI agent that can really understand all of this information to be able to generate accurate reviews. On this page, I'm going to go ahead and hit generate and explain what's happening. On this page, we've defined essentially a set of criteria that we want to evaluate that proposal against. On the left here are the high-level buckets, importance, technical approach. And then on the right, for each of these buckets, you can divide it down into subcategories as well. And you can choose either relative or numeric weighting, depending on the CO, that they might have a different preference on how the final report comes out. But essentially what we're doing right now live is we're leveraging a group of 6 agents that are going to evaluate the proposal that you just saw earlier against the FAR for compliance and regulation, and also against the set of technical criteria. So let's take a look at what that comes out to. So, we start with the FAR evaluation. It's nicely formatted into a set of key recommendations. We have compliant sections as well as non-compliant sections. And then down here is the custom evaluation criteria. As you see, we get a score for each of the sections as well as a high-level score, just really detailed output on why that particular score or evaluation was made for each of these different areas. Now going back to that, why do we evaluate against this custom criteria? The idea is that this criteria would be derived from the RFP itself. You can, as you saw on the previous page, manually adjust these weightings, or we can derive those weightings automatically using the RFX standardizer that you saw in the previous module. We can essentially feed in the RFP and identify what criteria is actually used to judge the contracts, and that really promotes consistency across reviews, as well as things like lowering protest risk and such. So this is certainly a system that can help accelerate reviews of proposals coming in, especially if you have many for a particular response. So moving on, I'm going to show the consensus evaluation next. And the idea behind this one is we have the proposal here. This is the same one. What if you have multiple reviewers for this proposal? So, you might have people coming in. This is one of the evaluations that was generated before. You might have a different set of evaluations that's been done on the same criteria. Certain reviewers, might prefer numbers, such as this one. Others might prefer just a stack rank of good or bad for each of these different categories. You need a way to actually come up with a consensus report that synthesizes all of the information between the different reviewers, and that's exactly what this module does. Just like the RFP writer, you can select a preferred template on how you want to draft the consensus response. This again is just one that's been preloaded here, but again, you can select your own. The other thing that you can do is, in addition to just having the AI agent do make its own decisions, you can also, for example, highlight a portion of the text and select in the highlight section here, use this text exactly. And you might want to do that when one of the reviewers states something that must be copied into the consensus report, right, for protest risk. So in this case, when you select that, when I hit generate report up here, what the agent's going to do is it'll draft the report, but embed that exact selection naturally into the consensus. And of course, you can add your own notes here as well as your as the lead contracting officer. So when you hit generate, this again will take a couple minutes. So I'm going to move to what a pre-generated consensus report looks like. Again, this is delivered in Workspace. It's going to follow our criteria, the template criteria exactly. And this one, was generated with this particular section here, asking it to be stated verbatim. And as you can see, the AI agent was able to embed it directly into its evaluation into a spot that flows naturally and makes sense. So that is the consensus evaluator. And I'm going to go ahead and move on now to the FPDS automation. So, when a reward is actually rewarded, you have to load that information into FPDS, and that can sometimes be a headache. Some of the information, might come from a variety of different sources. I've just prepared 3 here on the left. It might come from, the RFP itself. And again, this is a sample RFP from sam.gov. It might come from, handwritten information. This is a screenshot of a email that I made up that contains some information. Point is, it might be, the information might be all over the place. Regardless of where that information is, we can help digitize it. And once it's digitized, we can extract it and put it into a structured form that can be then ingested into FPDS. And that's exactly what this AI agent is doing now. We're taking all of these documents that I just uploaded, and it's going to go through each one and pull out as much information as it can find as it relates to requirements in FPDS. So I'm just going to take a minute to do. But as you can see here, this contracting office ID, this again was just uploaded as an image, hoping that, yep, it was able to find it here. Funding agency is TBD. This was a GSA RFP. And let's look at this handwritten note. This is just something that I pulled up, that I just wrote myself, completely made up. Of course, the NAAQS code, this is pulled directly from the RFP itself. So The last bit that I want to show with the contract evaluation is our policy search AI, which right now has been loaded with FAR 1.0. When FAR 2.0 comes out or any future iterations of the FAR document, we can add that into our search system. This acts very much like a Google search system, but fully grounded in policy regulations. So when you do a search, you get your AI generated summary. That's really just a summary of the top level items that you see here. These are the exact FAR clauses from 1.0. Clicking View Document here is going to open up a tab that leads you directly to that particular clause. We also have a chatbot that's on the right-hand side here that that's loaded with the DFARS. So I can ask a question such as, let's say, what is incident reporting times? I like this question because this is something that the DFAR specifies as 72 hours. As you can see, it came back very nicely with that, but it's not something that the FAR actually specifies. So it's able to make a comparison between the two documents and identify the correct information. So let's look at the post-award phase. We've got several items here, and I'm going to start by showcasing the payments. So the payments demo that we have built here is using a Google Cloud tool called Looker, which is also powered by Google BigQuery. Looker is essentially Google's enterprise BI tool. It allows you to, first of all, visualize and analyze huge amounts of data that's backed by BigQuery. We're able to, for example, search across the here, maybe lowercase here. I selected equals. That's why there's not anything that's exactly called that, but anything that contains, hardware is going to get pulled up. It's going to get pulled up on here. This is case sensitive. We can make it, case insensitive. If I look for that, there's a lot more that comes up. We can, generate trends, plots over time, and display in a tabular format of all the payments that's been made, along with alerts if something is late. What's great about Looker is that you can schedule the reports to be delivered to individuals either via email or via chat. And this certainly does not have to be a Google Workspace email. It can be any platform. You can set that to be delivered at a particular time or any interval so that they get the latest data in the reporting format that they prefer at regular frequencies. Of course, this can be done not just for payments data. That's just one within the contracting realm where you might have a lot of rows of data to look at compared to just contracts. But it can also, of course, be done for contracts or anything else that you're tracking. So want to show the contract data agent next, which this might take a second to load. It's actually pulling data from governmentspending.gov, fully public data, and populating it into a format that we can then analyze. What's great about this data agent is that you'll see a lot of AI agents nowadays that operate on text and unstructured data, but this is an agent that's going to actually operate on structured data itself, and this should be coming up soon. So what we've built into the system is the ability to ask the AI agent information on the structured data that's been loaded into the backend here. As you can see, there's a huge amount of columns that the agent needs to consider. We're just showing a few on the front end here. But what you can ask is, for example, this one, what's the average federal obligation for contracts to Booz? So first of all, it's got to interpret what this is, Booz Allen Hamilton, and it comes back with this number. How it actually did that was it wrote a query and some code in the back end to actually interact with that data in a read-only format to do aggregations and actually calculate those numbers. And we can show exactly the thinking and the logical process on how it arrived at that number. And so this is a fully autonomous agent that can work on essentially any structured data sets in a non-intrusive and or harmful way. It's not going to modify the data in any way or spill it outside of its boundaries. So I hope that this, gives kind of an overview of all the capabilities. I'm not going to showcase these ones, just talk about a little bit. Form 7600B, if you work with interagency transfer forms, this is one that we've automated extremely well. We can fully understand the form regardless of how many line numbers or schedule numbers that's been added to the form, and then be able to perform comparisons and mathematical operations to confirm that the form has been filled out correctly. It's very easy to make a mistake on that particular one, as well as using AI to further extract insights from documents. So just to bring it back, we've gone through several use cases on how agentic AI can be leveraged in this contracting acquisitions management system. But again, this is just kind of scratching the surface on all the possible things that it can do. Regardless of the use case, we'd like to make it extensible to you and specific to you. So, uh, you know, please reach out and we'd be happy to chat more about this.